All right, so today what we're doing is we're going to build a roller system for the roof racks of the van that will make it easier to get the kayak up on the van. A couple months ago, I installed a winch system to pull the kayak up on the van so I could do it solo. Got a new kayak. It was a little bit heavier, harder to do by myself without some assistance. So I installed a winch system, which I'll show in a different video. But to get it up there, even with the winch, it has to slide across the back end of the roof a little bit. And so I don't like that. I can put some padding up there to try to make sure it doesn't scratch and move smoothly. But what I want to do instead is construct something that'll allow it to roll. So I bought one of these rollers, just like a standard trailer roller. And my plan is to take some of this old bed frame that I have here, drill a hole in it. Got two pieces. Got to cut it to size, but got two pieces. So the plan is to cut a hole in each end of these two pieces. Take this piece of all thread, it's 5/8 inch. Slide it through here, if I can get it through. Slide it through there, have it connect like that. Whoops. And then this will be the roller system. So that's the plan for today, and then I'll secure the bed frame with a couple holes to the rack system, and then this will cantilever over the back a little bit. So that's the plan. First step, got some drills here, some step bits, some regular drill bits. First step is to drill through this bed frame, which I know can be difficult, but that's the starting point. So let's see how that goes. So these nuts, I'm going to want to be able to have turn to tighten things up once it's in place. So as I'm measuring here, I'm going to leave a little bit of space. I'm going a little further towards the top. So what I want to do is space that out. I'm going to hold it down. Get a sharp pencil here. Give it that space. And just mark the circle. It's hard to see, but that's the hole I'm drilling. Kind of mark the center of it. And then I'm going to give myself a starting point. So I had a really tough time getting these big 5/8 inch holes in this bed frame. What I'm doing right now is with Dremel tool and a grind bit, just going in there and kind of widening it out. So the all thread will slide in there nice and smoothly. All right, looks good. So there's the general premise or concept. Be on the racks here, cantilever over, kayak come up and spin. Next, I need to take it up on the van, line it up to the racks, and figure out where I need to drill holes so I can secure it onto the racks. So I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these two to the same length first. I'm a little nervous this is short, but I'm just going to cut them to the same length, and then if it's short, they're both short. And what I'll probably do in that instance is go and buy some angle iron, do both sides angle iron. This is all the bed frame I have. So if this is too short, I don't have enough to make it work with bed frame anyway. So I'm gonna cut this to length, and then I will throw them on the van and see where we're at and hope for the best. So I'm gonna get the angle grinder set up, and then we'll do the cut. So I'm gonna take this apart, just 'cause I think it'll be easier to cut. It's not connected. All right, that'll be perfect. If that works, it's long enough, that'll be perfect. Kayak will slide right up on there. All right, so I'm just lining this up on the racks. I'm going to use these clamps to kind of hold it in place so we can just get a look at it. So what you can see here is how it lines up. There's the overhang. That's about how it hangs over. About 2 inches of space there. Now what I'm going to do is mark some holes so I can screw at least a few holes in. I got T-nuts that'll slide in here. I'll fasten them in. So I'm just going to mark where the grooves are so I know where to drill. Do the same thing here. And then I'll do the same thing on that side. Then I'll bring it into the garage and then I'll drill. All right, so we got it all fixed. And then same on the other side. It's pretty sturdy. That's spinning pretty good. So let's get a kayak up here and see what it looks like. Pull this stuff down. Down there is the winch, which I'll need to uncover and pull down if I'm going to pull this kayak up. So we'll get that set up and then we will give her a go, see how it goes. So for my winch system, I have a connector in the back right here that I plug in this 2-pin connector into. And I turn it on. And then I hook it up to another connector that's at the back rack. And then that hooks up to the winch. So that's how I power it, is through this connection here. So I have this long cable that'll go up on the roof and plug in along the back rack. So here I am up on the back by the roof. You can see there's the other end of a 2-pin connector. So this line runs all the way up and then to the winch, which is up front. It's got the cover on still, but that's how the power works. So I just open up that, plug this in. There we have it. So then the winch up front should have power. And then I have a remote that'll run that winch. Get enough to go over the back. Just kind of throw it down. Should be good. Just a test of the winch here. I got the remote, so you can see it's got an in and an out. So lock that in. I press in. Out. Like I said, this cord that I'm using on the winch is called Amsteel. It's rated to like 2,000 pounds. So it looks thin, but it's got a high rating. All right, there's the back end of the rope hanging over. So we're all set. I'm gonna lift the kayak up, put it in that spot. We'll see how this goes. So there's step one. Step two is to get this. Gotta let some out. Alright, get that hooked up, and we'll just tighten this up a little bit. There's a look at it from the roof. All right, so taking it down is just a reverse of what did to get it up there. Let the winch go out, pull. So then just unhook the carabiner. All right, so I want this to be loose enough that it rolls, so I don't want to tighten these up too hard. So what I'm gonna do, because I don't want this nut to be shaken loose while I'm driving, is I'm just gonna put a little weld right there to hold that in place. Put one there, and put one there, and then that should keep that from spinning, but it won't pinch this because I won't tighten it all the way up on that lock washer, so that'll keep rolling. So nothing spectacular, but just enough of a weld to keep that nut from turning. So I decided I'm going to cut these at an angle first, and then I'm going to grind them down. It'll take too long to just grind them. So first things first, I'm going to cut them at an angle. And then finally, I'm just using that like a flap disc to really make them nice and smooth. All right, good stuff. I finished just in time. It just started to rain. All I have left here is to paint up the rack system. So I taped it off because I had welded those nuts on. I wasn't able to take it fully apart, but that's fine. I just, I taped that just for good measure, just to keep the paint off of the roller. And then I'll give it a quick spray, and then I think that'll be it. Put it back on there. Hopefully the rain will stop, and we will be done. Okay, it is the next morning. We got the roller installed. I let the paint dry overnight. Rain stopped, so I wanted to get this installed on the van, finish up the project. I added an extra T-nut. I had started with one. I added two, or a second, on the front rack. Left it as just one there. I actually didn't have any more T-nuts, so that's how it's gonna live, at least for a while. Roller's nice and smooth. Okay, well that does it for this project. I think it turned out really well. I've taken the kayak now on and off the roof multiple times with the new roller installed, and it moves really smoothly, really easy to do safely by myself. Along with the winch and the wireless remote, I can get up there almost in about a minute. So that's really what I was looking for. I do a lot of camping and fishing trips in the van by myself, and really needed to figure out a method to be able to get the kayak up on the roof safely on my own, and I think I figured that out. This new roller addition is, a big help for that. It just makes it go very smoothly and keeps it from sliding along the back side of the van, which is something I wanted to accomplish. So for those of you that watched, I hope you got some ideas from this, maybe something that you can implement yourself on one of your projects. I appreciate you tuning in and watching, and if you enjoyed it, please give it a like, and hope to see you back here on the channel at some point soon.